So RippleNet is trying to take on SWIFT. What's been the traction like? Who's come on board?
Well, it's interesting as you step back and look at this. If you and I decided we're going to send $10,000 to California today, the fastest way for us to do it would be to drive to the airport and fly it there. That's a crazy thing to think about when you're in the age of the internet and we're used to information on demand. When we think about the customers that have come on board, it's because we're solving that real problem. We're changing the nature of a payment taking days to settle to California to seconds. So we now have well over 100 customers ranging from some of the biggest banks in the world to payment providers to the Western Unions and MoneyGrams, Linlan Pay out of China.
How many banks?
It's over 100. I actually don't know the exact number now. Last time we announced it publicly, we said over 100. We'll probably announce the next one when we get to over 200. We're signing up more than a bank a week now.
The thing is, it's not the number of banks, it's the volume
for sure
out there. What kind of volume are you looking at?
Well, we've had one that we can talk publicly about is we have one corridor run by SEB, which is one of the first or second largest bank in Sweden, has done over $1 billion USD equivalent through one corridor. So while on the global macro scale, that we're still just getting started. I think we're on mile 1 of a marathon.
What about, I mean, one of your views also, your criticisms of Ethereum is that, I mean, it's got a big developer network and you're trying to boost the amount of developers using XRP with Xspring, this project called Spring or yep. Xspring. It's spelled with an X, but it's called Spring, which you're trying to get developers onto it. It's a bit like Microsoft trying to get developers to develop apps in a way, isn't it? You're trying to boost the market. Do you think?
Well, I mean, look, I think there's lots of people that invest in developer ecosystems.
Yeah.
The observation I'd make about the Ethereum ecosystem today is there's a lot of experimentation. There is not a lot of successful deployed, we're solving a real problem.
What's your view about Ethereum? What's your general view?
There's a lot of interesting experiments going on. And I'll be interested. I don't own any Ether.
But you do Bitcoin.
I do. So look, I think one of the mistakes, and Mike likes to make fun of me for lots of things, but one of the things he was talking about backstage is years ago I wrote this thing called the Peanut Butter Manifesto. It was a long time ago, and the thesis was that Yahoo, where I worked at the time, was spreading itself too thin. It was trying to do too many things, serving too many masters, as opposed to really specializing and being the best in the world at something. And I think in many ways what's going on in the crypto land is similar. Ripple has very specifically decided to go very deep in a particular vertical with a clear customer, a clear value proposition, and solving a clear problem.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these things. I mean, look, you read these things. I was meeting with some of the IBM team, and they were talking about using a blockchain to track flower freshness. I don't get it.
Yeah.
First of all, I think a database,
might be an investor.
More often than not, a database is going to be more efficient than a blockchain, and people use words like blockchain and crypto as catnip for the investors that were up here before us.
That's true.
There's do you feel that Ripple will try and replace SWIFT in the banking system? Is that?
I hope it does.
Well, look,
something has to improve upon SWIFT. SWIFT it's like we never even got email.
I mean, we're going to have the SEC, by the way, at some point. I mean, what would happen, do you think, if the SEC decided to declare XRP a security?
Well, first to answer that, we got to make sure we understand what is a security, right? A security is something that represents ownership in a company. It gives you rights to dividends, give you rights to governance, things like that. XRP and Ripple are two separate things. We have shareholders in Ripple, the company. We have investors that include Google Ventures. We have banks that have invested. They own shares of Ripple, the company. When you buy XRP, that doesn't give you any rights to the profits or ownership of Ripple, the company. The other thing that's important to understand
so
is...
do you think that's that'll... that's an air gap between you and the SEC?
There's multiple air gaps. The amount of misinformation on this one, I think, is also profound. Mm-hmm. If Ripple, the company, I mean, we have joked, we had an all-hands about a couple months ago, and some people didn't think it was very funny, but we pointed out that if Ripple, the company, shut down tomorrow, the XRP ledger would continue to operate. So if XRP is a security, it's a security of what? Now, one of the other things that people talk about is information asymmetry, that if a company has information that could influence the price, then maybe that is more like a security. I mean, the irony there is one of the major drivers of inflection of the price of XRP is Coinbase. The rumors about, is Coinbase going to list XRP or not? So does that mean XRP is a security of Coinbase or of Ripple? So look, I think the facts are pretty clear that XRP is not a security, and I think that as time goes by, that'll become clearer. So I don't spend a lot of time worrying about that.